So we have with us the Vice President Digital Initiatives, Tata Industries, CTO of Tata Click. This is our featured speaker joining us this afternoon. Please put your hands together to welcome on stage Mr. Sauvik Banerjee.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? Can I have at least an energy high? There you go. There you. I know the lunch was amazing. That's one reason to always have a seminar or a session or a panel talk. So, in the world of marketing, I thought I'll spend some time in kind of evangelizing the platforms we built on which you all champion digital marketing, pure marketing, offline marketing, brand marketing. So I'm a hardcore techie. For the last 25 years, I've been in UK and North America. I was brought back into the country to architect the madness of 4G, what you have seen over the last 12 months, which has gone live, to architect the Geo platform. And as a result, I architected another platform called Tata Click. But when we were architecting the products and the platforms, the entire intent, about 53% of Geo and about the overall intent of Tata Click was to ensure marketing of brands happen, marketing of content happen, overall digital content happen, video content happen. So I'll take a step back today and talk to you about what we as techies do and build platforms and products where you can then champion your marketing capabilities. That futurism video, which you saw, is a combination of all verticals. It has automation, it has retail, it has got healthcare. Now, if I tell you that all of that, wall crawling robots to drone-based surveillance, if I say to you that all of that, what you just saw in that 2-minute video, through apps, you would say, am I talking rubbish? No, but if you just dig back once this session is over, how do we control a drone as of today, apart from the defense UAVs? During weddings, we are using drones. For entertainment and events, we are using drones. We use an app to control the drone. Now, what happens if I move that capability into agri-tech? Farmers using satellite to ensure in Africa the data of their health of their crop in the next 1 month. How are they going to know? If that information comes to a feature phone or a smartphone through an app. So the capabilities is what we're going to talk about. And the next 25 minutes, I'm going to talk about what is hit our country today and what's hitting us in the next 12 months. There are 10 inventions which we want to talk about. Some of you may be aware of it, but the whole point is to suggest that there are abilities of marketing, capabilities of marketing, which is already happening. So, if I show you the areas, UAV and drones, industrial internet, the Jamnagar plant, the Tata Steel plant, entire blast furnace gets operated, moderated through a mobile platform, through a smartphone an engineer uses, whether it's a Samsung S6 or it's a Carbon or an Intex or a Redmi 4A. That app, which is the health and safety ability to basically safeguard you from the blast furnace, also allows you to educate. That comes to the world of mobile marketing. Now, you will say, what has that got to do with marketing? But I would say, once the users adopt, that when becomes a part of their day-to-day lives, he's moving around with that ability all the time. So we're going to talk about impact of mobile marketing in the world of machinery and internet. Space navigation. There's one dedicated 3 minutes I'll spend on that. Robotics, we know we can't control robots through a control room. It is getting controlled. Retailers in UK, Walmart, Tesco's, Alibaba are controlling their fulfillment robots through the application platforms. Then we're talking about agri-tech, which I just hinted upon. Retail, what's the future of retail? The future of retail is separate from the future of e-commerce. But if I say, when there is a marriage, am I able to pinpoint and geolocate and send the guy a notification if their app is up using beacons or magnetometer? The answer is yes. Is it being trialed out in India? The answer is yes. So we're going to talk about that. OTT, we heard a lovely session on OTT. And the abilities moving forward, what's the next generation of OTTs which are coming through? Traditional, robust platforms like YouTube has championed this space. Hook in Southeast Asia has championed this space. Now, in UK and Europe has championed this space. What's next? Netflix and Amazon on Prime, we all are part of. Hotstar's become part of our day-to-day lives. What if I tell you that, forget IPL and India, you are able to broadcast? So, what are we doing with deep learning? What will Google's DeepMind impact our day-to-day lives? So we'll talk about a little bit about that. And finally, mobile surgeries. I was extremely encouraged when I spoke to Dr. Yuvraj, when he told me that once a month in Kokilaben, he does start the commencement of a colon surgery from his car. The entire mobilization happens through an app and a video streaming capability. I mean, that's futuristic. And it's not going to happen. It's happening right now. So let's delve deep into this right away. So we are talking about IoT, industrial internet. We all know that industrial internet means the internet of passing that data remotely through your mobile capability to the plant engineer so that he can shut it off, shut it on, as and when required, and follow compliance. But the best part is, there's a lot of manufacturing plants. There's a lot of plant engineers. And the whole world is open to them, and they are providing you data about how their manufacturing processes can be exposed to the consumer, knowing what the next demand is. Hence, marketing comes in. JLR is trialing it out. I mean, these ones are live right now. The way these guys are thinking about marketing this data is, I know my production is high-end. I can predict what my production is going to be because live data is reporting and the management is continuously doing a CapEx and an OpEx balance. And then the marketing teams of these three have come in and said, you know what, give us that data if I can do customized capability of marketing in the B2B enterprise world. when I heard this story and when I interacted with these individuals, they're saying the B2B of mobile marketing is just at the embryotic stage in India. That's going to take off. You know, the world of B2B marketing used to be exhibitions, events, and they'll all remain. But data being the parameter, you will see a lot of surge in that. So the embryotic world of B2B mobile marketing is commenced. FarmBot. This is and all of this you can YouTube it. FarmBot was conceived by some Austrians and Americans, where a robotic machinery could do a 30 square feet of farming within 24 hours and then let it harvest in itself. This got adopted in Maharashtra and in Bengal, based and piggybacked on platforms like eKrishi, platforms like Mitti Ki Kahani, platforms like what we are doing to save the Marathwada problem. The problem is the water is the challenge in India because the source systems are many. Now, that FarmBot gets operated from a mobile platform through a mobile app. And it's individual farmers. It's not a B2B use case. It's a B2C use case. Now, that ability to harvest and then take it to the market brings up opportunities in agri-tech mobile marketing. An area which is unexplored in the country right now. The Ghana government and the Nigerian government are working on it. They're advising the Indian government how to go about it. The platforms which are looked up are, there's a couple of villages in northern part of India. Eastern part of India has taken it up and impacted 7.2 million farmers on a platform called Matir Katha, and now the Maharashtra government has picked that template up. But then the government is thinking, why don't I open it up? It's a B2C consumer base. That platform is capable of consuming contextual marketing data and segmentation and targeted marketing data. The smartphone has remained as is. Only what is improved, bearing iPhone 10, and Samsung would claim a lot on that as well, is the Qi-based charging. Qi is a different technology, facial recognition. But realistically, all of these are individual inventions which have happened. We have clubbed it together. The Chinese have now figured out the first true holographic smartphones. We have seen a lot of junk and fad data coming across over the last few years on holograms, working, not working. Taki is an R&D-based company which powers processors in China. So can we have the Taki video, please? I wanted to show this to you because this is coming to India in the next 12 months through our traditional platforms like Xiaomi and Intex and the rest of the Geo capabilities. Can we see the Taki video on this one, please?
Cutting-edge innovation and technology shouldn't be cold and unreachable. It should be fun and part of daily life. This is eStar's world-first holographic smartphone. So, how do we generate glass-free holograms on smartphones? When we're looking at our smartphone, a camera will quickly track our eye movement. Eye tracking data is sent to our on-chip signal processing unit. It's quickly processed by our eye tracking system, which will lock on to where our eyes are looking. This is very important. Our eye tracking system will adjust the hologram generated based on where your eyes are looking, and you'll immediately see the holographic effect. This is the world's first holographic smartphone with our pioneering eye tracking technology. An innovation dedicated to the smartphone application. We call this Smart Holographics. You'll find 4 cameras on our holographic phone. A perfect air interface. The dual lens camera on the back is not just for taking holographic images, but more importantly, it's designed to collect and process holographic data. So what new user experience will such an innovative holographic smartphone bring us? No more dizziness or narrow viewing angles when watching movies in 3D. A truly immersive way to watch videos in 3D. Game playing becomes more fun and thrilling. Distance is no longer a problem. Lifelike product displays for online shopping. Complex traffic systems become easy to navigate. Education is no longer boring, but fun and lively. Anytime, anywhere, 3D scanning and printing. Well, all this is just the beginning. eStar will continue to create new technologies for holographic applications. We make the impossible possible and create better lives.
Now, 4 weeks back, we saw the introduction of AR in gaming capability, in facial recognition. Individual inventions brought together under one single little magnetometer, which is your little CPU unit. Now, tell me something. If I can do that, what are my opportunities of segmentation and targeting in geolocation? Bring in what India's context is. What if you could club all of that data which comes back to a marketing team and then use it to contextualize? So that is, again, not futuristic anymore. That is reality. And they are going to IP the product and distribute across the handset manufacturers and then to the app capabilities and the various app agencies. Something to look out for. This, again, has been spoken extensively in the last 90 days when Alibaba introduced your entire blip of an eye and you can check out. Think of it. We have the UPI and the Bheem when we touch our fingers and we do a fingerprint checkout. What if your retina scan allows you to do the checkout? If Alibaba has introduced that tech, all of our e-commerce players in India will adopt it like anything. It's a one single page checkout with a blink of an eye. Now, all of that ability helps you to do your final cross-selling and upselling across your apps, on all e-commerce apps, all your mobile responsive site apps, all your progressive web apps which are going to take over. So that's an area of capability which is opening up. Again, we spoke about DeepMind. How many of you know what Google DeepMind is? Can you raise a hand? Okay, so this is something interesting. This is the first time Google has come back keeping Elon Musk and Facebook on a separate platter and said, this is the first true algorithm which has started to self-learn. So what they took a synaptics of our brain, put it across on a software which is 1,000th time lesser, and they could basically train it like a little young baby. And that is self-learning in itself. That in itself opens up your entire sporadic capabilities of the entire Google universe for you. And then it becomes abilities for the marketeers to enrich it on. Then, if you ask me, having a true background on neural platforms and neural modeling, this is an area which will explode. You have to do that studying. Because if it comes across one day in front of you, you would need to know how the data is going to get used for your insight. How would you then plan your data analysis and then do your segmentation, targeting, recommendation? It's extremely important for all marketeers in this room to understand what DeepMind is trying to do, because the biggest adopters of this one would be the marketeers. There are 3 organizations which are doing the equivalent of audio fingerprinting, eye tracking, and capabilities. Zapper is any content you watch on any streaming platform, Zapper can work with you guys. These 3 have been called out in Bloomberg, hence I'm talking about them. It's the ability of what you watch, when you watch, and then target, allows you to target accordingly. Again, they're working with all the OTT platforms. App downloads, pushing money to download apps, pushing money for getting the notifications out. That market is getting fair amount of traction. Though we are a 900 million smartphone user country as of today. What will happen if stagnation kicks in like SMS on push notification of apps? That's the next generation of messaging which requires to be thought out through. These platforms are doing their R&D on that. And Resolve is a brainchild of UK's inventor Dan Wagner, which is coming to India. Resolve is nothing. If you see a YouTube advert of any retail product, to a hoarding, to a catalog, you can snapshot it and it automatically triggers the product detail page across all e-com platforms. That's marketing data which you will require going forward. And last but not the least, marketing in space. Can we play the moonshot video, and then I'll talk about this for the last few minutes.
Nice shot. The Google Lunar X Prize called to me.
I have a small budget. I am just trying to reach the moon.
Most people go about their lives and they look at space and say, oh yeah, that's something that only NASA can do. And I, of course, could never do something like this. But truth is, they can.
I finally got an opportunity to prove myself.
It's not really just going to the moon. Going to the moon is symbolic. It is about showing what is possible.
It's a very good feeling. I am part of something huge.
Building a machine that will go to the moon represents that everything is possible. The human spirit will win.
This is a first step to open up the future.
Whatever you can imagine is within your reach. You can't be afraid to fail.
This getting to the moon is really getting good.
In 2015, Google opened up a proposition across the whole world to ensure that space research does not lie in the hands of agencies, and the space agencies government-powered. They said, build a rover to the moon, and they opened it up. 116 startups from 116 countries were formed, out of which 56 got shortlisted. Out of the 56, 6 are in the final race to run on the moon and do a race, and the whole world will see. 6 rovers got built by the Israelis, the Americans, the Indians. Team Indus championed it and is running heavily on it. Now, what are they doing? So you need a mobile app to power a rover across X thousand miles away, which will be controlled by towers. And you know, everybody's use case was different. So somebody said, I'm going to ensure data is explored. And it's all 6 are startups. Other one said, the Astrobotics American team said, guess what? Why can't I take a Coke can to the moon? Why can't I take a box of pizza to the moon? Why can't I take a West Side shirt to the moon? That was the thinking. You know, they did an ROI analysis and they said, yes, we can take all of this to the moon. What if I can use this as a branding capability? So the next big brand launch in India happens in moon at the same cost of 3 hoardings in Gurgaon. That's a marketing opportunity waiting to be exploded. It's already working. The country's representation is Team Indus, Astrobotics is America. The old fella, William Red Whittaker, is the inventor of Google self-driven car. He resigned and then moved and formed this organization. The Israelis have already done the first round. So, moon, rovers, and an app gives you the ability to market yourselves, a brand. What if you can think of every possible Indian brand on that moon? Payload is a capability. Hence, the platforms of tech built for marketing becomes essentially important for marketeers to understand how they're getting built, what is coming through. This is the most exciting time in the history of technology and marketing. There has always been technology here and marketing here. Now, this whole digital divide in a country like ours, which is a digital native country, forget transformation. Bulk of the country is under 35. We are digital natives. We are born. My 7-year-old kid wakes up and goes back to bed, and there are about 23 touch points of digital he is consuming without even knowing how much he's consuming. And so is everyone who is in the country's marketing space right now. The intent of this half an hour was to just put that germ in your head and say that, are we thinking a little ahead? Or are we doing BAU? You know, we geeks, when we don't have work, we do all of this. Sometimes it makes money, sometimes it doesn't. But 1 in 10 platforms comes through which helps and changes the world. And the world changes only through the capabilities of marketing when you send the message across. Knowing the modern age of marketing is dependent on mobile capability, I thought I'll share this with you. So thank you so much. It's been wonderful sharing this with you, and you've been a very wonderful audience.
Thank you very much indeed.